Hey abundant parents, it's Leah. In this video, we're going to dial it on back. We're going to talk about the steps to the law of attraction, really introduce you to the basic concepts, and then show you how you can introduce those concepts to your family and to your kids. If you like my video, please hit that little like button. I really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. I release a new video at least once a week, sometimes more, so also hit the bell. That way you'll be notified when I post new videos. The first step to the law of attraction is knowing what you want. Now, it can actually be kind of a complicated start because sometimes we don't know what we want. We've just gone through a huge transition. Perhaps we've just been kind of lost on our path for a long time, and maybe we've lost hope. I know where I started with my journey with the law of attraction was feeling kind of hopeless, like I had lost my power in this world. And so knowing what you want as the first step of the law of attraction actually can be really life-changing in itself. If you think about this for a little while and you really just can't seem to come up with what do I want, then I want you to remember that at the core of all we are as humans, we want love, we want respect. So if you need to start in that broader space of just recognizing how you want to feel, that is actually a really great start. So be gentle on yourself and start there if you need to. For those of you who have a better idea of what you want, dream big. I mean, I'm not saying choose things that happen in like Greek mythology and that maybe actually won't happen in real life, though some people in the law of attraction may argue that you can try to visualize and bring that into your life as well. But dream big. If you follow the laws of attraction, it can happen. The second step for the law of attraction is believing what you want is already yours. Now, I'm not saying that you should walk around pretending like the watch that you really desire is on your wrist, and when people ask the time, you're like, oh, got my watch right here. But what I am saying is that if you believe what you want is already yours, as to mean what you want is completely possible and on its way, that is the very next step to drawing it into your life. Now, this does take faith. It does take trust that what you want can be achievable, can be drawn into your life. And so you're going to have to lean on that for this second step. The third step for the law of attraction is visualizing what you want as if you have it now. Now you might say, wow, that's really similar to step 2, but it is a little bit different in that you are going to actually practice exercises of visually believing what you have is yours. For me, this means closing my eyes, and I've come up with a very specific scenario that I visualize of what I want into my life. Sometimes I have very specific visuals that I bring into my visualization exercise because the specific image that I bring into the exercise represents a bigger story. I know that when I was dealing with infertility issues and I was visualizing wanting to have a child, instead of visualizing the whole process of going through fertility treatments and getting pregnant and what being pregnant would be like, I just visualized the end goal of what I wanted. And so I would visualize holding my child in my arms and pulling the blanket away from her and being able to put my hand on her arm. And for whatever reason, that skin to skin contact within my visualization was hook, line, and sinker for me. There is a little bit of an extra bit to these visualizations of visualizing what you want, is you have to attach the emotion that you felt kind of in step 2 of believing that it can already happen, but even more so, attaching the emotion of what you are going to feel when you achieve what you have to your visualization. So when I was going through infertility, I would visualize how full my heart would feel, and sometimes it would bring me to tears, the happiness that I could imagine feeling when I was holding my own child. And so attach those emotions. If that means having success with your business, then absolutely the feeling that you would feel is exhilaration, is pride, is ease. Allow yourself to attach those emotions to this step of the practice of visualizing. The fourth step can be hard if we're in a place we really don't want to be. The fourth step is practicing gratitude. I know that there's a lot of people talking about practicing gratitude and bringing that positivity into your life, but with the law of attraction, it is so important that you can really vibrate positivity and happiness as much as possible. And I have found that practicing gratitude is one of the easiest ways to tune my mind towards positivity and to take those times out to really understand that my life as it is now is actually completely abundant. And what I hope to draw into my life would just be what I prefer and be the proverbial cherry on top of the sundae. Now, you've been following all of these steps to the law of attraction. You are knowing what you want. You are believing that it can happen. You are visualizing that it's coming into your life. You're practicing gratitude. So the fifth step of the law of attraction is allowing it to come into your life and to let go and just trust that it is coming. You might ask, how do you let go of something and still expect that it's going to come to you? Again, this is where that faith and that trust comes into play. When you allow and let go and trust that what you prefer to happen to your life, what you want to attract into your life is going to happen, and you are willing to let the universe, let God play that out for you, then that reduces the resistance in your life. Now, resistance can be tricky because resistance could be that little voice in your mind that's telling you that it can't possibly happen. Resistance can be that pushback of energy you get from trying to figure out how on earth this is going to happen when you can't really see your way out of it. And then lastly, resistance can happen from wanting something too much, from thinking about it constantly, and finding yourself in a place of want, which also results in you vibrating in a place of lack, of not having. And so leaning into that allowance that it is going to happen, let go and trust that it is going to happen, but then live every day for today and celebrate every day for what it is in this moment. The really beautiful thing about all of the steps to the law of attraction, how they work together, is the sixth step, which is setting your intention for future gratitude. This means understanding that you have so much gratitude in your life right now as it is, that you can only expect that there are going to be more things to be grateful for in the days to come. Some of those may be the things you are actually wanting to manifest on a large scale. It's also the intention that small moments of beauty, small moments of gratitude, small moments of joy are going to occur in your life on a daily basis if you are open to them, if you set your perspective so that you see them. Now, if you are a goal-minded individual, then you may struggle with resistance more in the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is not like going to college and then ending up with your degree. The law of attraction is about daily practice. You are never going to be done practicing the law of attraction. You are never going to graduate from practicing the law of attraction. There will always be more abundance that you seek in your life, and you will come to expect that it's coming because you will have had a history of seeing that it's happening. You will begin to expect that your mind will continue to expand and grow as you learn more and more about the universe, about God, about your own mind's ability to vibrate and bring powerful, beautiful moments into your life. It's also this heightened consciousness that makes you live more purposefully, makes all of your interactions with people, good or bad, however you may have originally perceived them before practicing the law of attraction. All of your interactions with people will come from a new heightened awareness, and you will understand everything so much more completely and be so much more grateful for all of the events in your life, whether you had previously thought of them as negative or positive. So the steps of law of attraction are fairly straightforward, and as an adult you may be able to use both your rational and emotional brain to wrap your mind around all of these different steps and bring them into play into your life. But as a parent, how do you bring this practice to your children? There are 4 lessons you can bring into your child's life that is really going to set them up for mastering the law of attraction. That means even if your children are really young and you don't think they're quite ready to grasp some of these larger concepts of the law of attraction, you can already be tuning their mind towards becoming a person that is able to really master this as they grow older. One of the steps I've been setting into place with my children since they were very, very young, even well before I practiced the law of attraction, was that same step that is a big piece of the law of attraction, and that is practicing gratitude. A child who is grateful for everything that they have in their life now, or a good amount of things that they have in their life now, this child is going to go out into the world and see that there are a lot of things in the world that they may want, that they may draw into their life, but they're going to be more focused on being grateful for what they already have in their existence. Again, this is a practice. So the more that you practice gratitude with your child, the more you point out things to be grateful with for your child, the more you take time as a family to practice gratitude, the more your child's going to hone their psychological brain for future gratitude to come into their life. They're going to feel blessed. Now, while gratitude may shine a light to them about how plentiful their own life is, it's also so important as an adult in a child's life, not even just their parent, but as an adult in a child's life, you show them how plentiful your own life is. You want to show them that they can also expect to be an adult that can grow to have a very abundant, fulfilling life. As adults, we can deal with really big, heavy issues. I can definitely say that the law of attraction has really softened a lot of these really heavy, hard issues for me. However, I know growing up, my mom talked a lot about the lack of money that was in our home. And this became a message that I carried on with me into adulthood, this idea that there was always lack with money. However, my mom also showed me that she respected herself and she practiced a lot of self-love. And so by practicing this element of taking time to spend a day here or there away from me so that she could spend time with friends and travel, this showed me that she valued herself and she valued her ability to tap back into what she needed. And so by the behaviors that you have as an adult, what you talk about in front of your children, the beliefs that you have, the energy about things that you vibrate, even if you're not speaking out loud to your child, these are all things that your child is going to mirror. Their neurons are going to mirror all of these things, and you're ultimately creating a belief system for your child. So showing your child that your life is abundant and plentiful is really important when guiding them to use the really valuable steps to the law of attraction. One of the most important things that you can teach your children when beginning to use the law of attraction is to be a master of their feelings. The law of attraction works best if you are tuning yourself towards better feeling thoughts as often as possible. This means that if you are not a master of your feelings and you allow your irrational and your emotional brain to really take over when you are upset about things and allow yourself to just ride the wave of these really big negative feelings, that you're bringing longer periods of negative energy into your life. By mastering your feelings, it does take a little bit more of a use of that rational brain. This element means using that consciousness where you are aware of when you're having that bad feeling. It might even take an extra step of recognizing where that bad feeling is coming from, so perhaps you can remove yourself from that situation, or at least give yourself that mental time out to recognize where it's coming from so that you can adapt your mind to think about what you can do to make yourself feel better, to find a better feeling thought. Now, it's okay to have bad feelings. It's okay to be upset by things. The important piece here is providing yourself with self-love tools to help you to move to better feeling thoughts and not allowing yourself to really fester in the ick. Now, I've already talked briefly about how children are always watching you and they're mirroring your energy and they're mirroring your actions. So this goes exactly the same for mastering your feelings. You can also help your child master their feelings by being very attentive and calm and patient when they are having times of emotional upset. You don't want to add to their chaos during times like this. So by providing that loving, centered, grounded energy when they are feeling really upset, you're showing them an adult who is capable of being non-judging of bad feelings and then using tools to move towards better feeling thoughts. When you're dealing with kids, these could be things like not yelling back at them when they're upset and they're yelling at you, showing them that you are in control and you do have the tools to deal with big feelings, and that big feelings are okay. You don't need to be angry at a person for having big feelings, and in turn, they don't need to feel shameful about having feelings. Another way I show my children that their feelings are okay and their being upset are okay, even if they don't yet have the proper tools to express themselves in a healthier way, is by not putting them alone during timeouts. I do give the option that if they've put themselves in their own space during timeout, then I just keep a healthy distance. I ask them where they want me to be when they are ready to be supported. I ask them if they want hugs or if they don't. We're about 50-50 these days. Sometimes one of my daughters will definitely go and put herself in her own space. I'll ask her if she wants me to be close, and she'll say yes or no. Sometimes she'll actually tell me where she wants me to wait for her while she's working through her grief, her big emotions at that time. I've learned oftentimes the door frame of her room has become kind of the gateway to where she wants me to stay right there in the doorway, but she's really defined that space for herself to work through her feelings. So again, just teaching your children that their feelings are okay, that they are allowed to make decisions about how they want to deal with their feelings as long as nobody's getting hurt, and that you are going to be there to support them through it because you have the tools to do that. When you teach your children that you are the master of your feelings and that they are the master of their feelings, you in turn teach them a lifelong practice of being able to tune into better feeling thoughts, move towards better feelings, and then in turn allow positive vibrations of energy to draw what they want back into their life. The last piece I'll share with you in this video is showing your children the power they have to create. This happens a couple ways. One is the very tangible way where they may have an idea that comes into mind or an art project they want to get started on, and they have an image of how they want this to turn out. And then when they complete the project or they complete the story or whatever they had been working on, making a point to show them, wow, you had this idea, you put the wheels into motion, you believed that it could happen, and look what you created. That's probably the most direct way that you can show your children their power to be creators. The second piece is using manifestation exercises with your kids. We like to, throughout the week, practice little tiny, like mini manifestations. One way we will do this, and it usually happens in the car, though I've been tempted to try to pull it into our nighttime routine a little bit more. But one way that we do this is oftentimes after I've picked them up from school, when we're driving in the car, we will talk about something that we want to manifest. Now, in my adult programming, I have it in my mind that, oh, it's going to take a couple weeks to manifest. But what I found was while I was doing mini manifestations with my kids, their manifestations were happening within a few hours. We do small things. We try to pick things that are not overly predictable, like, for example, when we went to the mountains where there really are not a lot of seashells, one of my daughters wanted to manifest a seashell. And sure enough, within a couple hours, she had found 3 seashells. And I know recently in one of my posts, I talked about how my daughter had wanted to manifest a penguin. And so we went to the store to go pick up some school clothes and some groceries, and then they had a big bin of discount movies. And so I told the girls they could each pick one, since we don't watch live TV a lot, but sometimes we'll watch movies in the car if we're driving a distance. My daughter was becoming more and more discouraged. We went to the store, we came back home. She still hadn't manifested a penguin. She was feeling very discouraged that it wasn't going to work, and she began to put a lot of energy and intention on this fact that she had not manifested the penguin. It wasn't until the next day that we were driving to the mountains, we popped in the movie that she had chosen to play on the car DVD player, and the movie that she had chosen was Surf's Up. Now, for any of you who are big kids movies buffs, you'll know that Surf's Up is about a penguin who wants to be a pro surfer. The whole movie has nothing but penguins in it. Sans, I think there's a chicken, but the whole rest of the movie is penguins. However, my daughter had set her perspective that she wasn't going to manifest this penguin because it didn't happen right away. And in that perspective, though the universe had provided her the penguin, and it was in a pretty abrupt way, because not only did we manifest the penguin, but then we put it on the screen in the car, and we still didn't recognize that she had manifested a penguin until halfway through the movie. She had set her perspective to lack. She had set her perspective to not seeing the penguin. And so in turn, that's what her mind showed her. Her mind showed her that there was not abundance, when in fact the universe had in fact given her exactly what she asked for. So practicing tools of manifestation with your kids, and then making sure that when we've done something to get in our own way, that we're learning something like that, much like we did with wanting to manifest penguins and being so disappointed and then realizing that we totally manifested those penguins. So those are my steps for the law of attraction and how to bring manifestation into the lives of your kids. I thank you so much for spending your valuable parenting time with me. I know how precious your time can be. If you'd like to hear more from me, you can find me on theabundantparent.com. I do host workshops each month in my Abundant Parent membership. There I bring experts in the field to talk all about holistic parenting. We also talk about woo-woo stuff too, because the sky is really the limit when it comes to tools to support you and your family. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a day full of light, love,